The National Football League isn't just about touchdowns and tackles. It's also a battleground where adrenaline, rivalries, and tempers sometimes collide. Throughout its history, the NFL has witnessed numerous fights, from intense player altercations to unprecedented sideline battles. These incidents serve as dramatic reminders of the raw emotion and competitiveness inherent to the game. In this video, we'll recount the top 10 craziest NFL fights that have left a lasting impact on fans and the league. Number 10. Steve Smith versus Malcolm Jenkins. Wide receiver Steve Smith was notorious for his fiery demeanor, and in a 2011 matchup between the Carolina Panthers and New Orleans Saints, this trait was on full display. After catching a remarkable pass and running it in for a touchdown, Smith was hit late by Saints safety Roman Harper. This ignited an all-out scuffle, but rather than targeting Harper, Smith chose to confront Malcolm Jenkins, the nearest opposing player. Smith aggressively grabbed Jenkins and threw him to the ground. The incident showcased his unapologetic attitude and willingness to defend himself, making this one of the most memorable altercations of his career. Despite the tensions, Smith remained on the field to celebrate his touchdown, adding to the lasting memory of this NFL clash. Number 9. Santana Moss versus Corey Webster. In a heated NFC East rivalry game between the Washington football team and the New York Giants, tempers flared when wide receiver Santana Moss went head-to-head with cornerback Corey Webster. The altercation began when Moss aggressively blocked Webster, and the situation escalated after Webster retaliated by knocking off Moss's helmet. Moss responded by throwing a punch, sparking a chaotic scene as players from both teams surrounded them. Although both players were penalized for personal fouls, neither was ejected from the game, surprising many fans and commentators. The NFL later fined both players $5,000 each, underscoring the league's stance against such violent outbursts while showcasing the fierce rivalry between the teams. Number 8. Joey Porter versus William Green. A rivalry like Steelers versus Browns is bound to bring out intense emotions, but in 2004, it went beyond football. Before the game even started, Pittsburgh linebacker Joey Porter and Cleveland running back William Green exchanged insults that escalated into an all-out fistfight on the field. Green ended up with a bloody lip, and both players were ejected even before the opening whistle. The confrontation didn't end there, as it was reported that Green spat at Porter, intensifying the disrespect between the two players. Both received hefty $10,000 fines from the NFL, adding financial penalties to their premature ejections. This pre-game scuffle remains a testament to the deep-seated animosity between these division rivals. Number 7. Buddy Ryan versus Kevin Gilbride. One of the strangest fights in NFL history didn't involve players, but rather two coaches on the same team. Houston Oilers defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan and offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride clashed repeatedly during the 1993-94 season, with Ryan publicly criticizing Gilbride's strategies. Their tension reached a boiling point during a game against the Jets when Ryan threw a punch at Gilbride on the sidelines. Players intervened to break up the shocking altercation, which embarrassed the Oilers organization despite their eventual victory. This infamous sideline fight highlighted the intense clashes within NFL coaching staff, demonstrating how egos and frustration can spill over even off the field. Number 6. Odell Beckham Jr. versus Alec Ogletree. Odell Beckham Jr., known for his electrifying plays and fiery personality, found himself in a major altercation during a game against the St. Louis Rams. Linebacker Alec Ogletree dragged Beckham out of bounds with extra force, which prompted an instant reaction from the wide receiver. Beckham's frustration boiled over, and in seconds, players from both teams joined in the chaos. The NFL issued fines totaling nearly $60,000 and ejected 3 players, underscoring the league's intolerance for violent incidents. Although the Rams secured the win, Beckham's outburst became the highlight of the game, reminding fans of his fiercely competitive nature. Number 5. Jalen Ramsey versus A.J. Green. When Jacksonville's Jalen Ramsey and Cincinnati's A.J. Green squared off in 2017, the tension between the two stars was evident. Known for his trash talk, Ramsey provoked Green throughout the first half, culminating in a heated exchange where Ramsey shoved Green to the ground. Green retaliated by putting Ramsey in a headlock and landing several punches. Teammates rushed to separate the two as both benches cleared, resulting in a massive pileup. Both Ramsey and Green were ejected, but they avoided suspension. Green was fined $42,000, and Ramsey received a smaller fine, making it one of the more intense NFL battles involving two high-profile players. Number 4. Odell Beckham Jr. versus Josh Norman. Odell Beckham Jr. and Josh Norman's 2015 rivalry became one of the most heated matchups of the season, with fans and media eagerly awaiting their on-field clash. The week leading up to the game was filled with hype, as Norman, then with the Carolina Panthers, was one of the league's top cornerbacks, while Beckham was emerging as a star wide receiver for the New York Giants. Tensions quickly escalated during the game, with both players exchanging blows, shoves, and even a few headbutts. Beckham, clearly frustrated by Norman's tight coverage and constant physicality, eventually launched himself headfirst into Norman, sparking a fight that brought in teammates and referees to separate the two. The NFL later fined both players for their conduct and suspended Beckham for 1 game, while Norman avoided suspension. This game solidified their rivalry as one of the most memorable and contentious in NFL history. Number 3. Aqib Talib versus Michael Crabtree. The Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree rivalry reached a boiling point in their 2017 rematch, but it actually started a year earlier in a game between Talib's Denver Broncos and Crabtree's Oakland Raiders. During the 2016 season, Talib infamously ripped off Crabtree's gold chain, an act that Crabtree took personally. When they faced off again in 2017, Crabtree wasted no time aggressively blocking Talib out of bounds before the two players engaged in an all-out brawl. As teammates swarmed the scene, Talib managed to tear off Crabtree's chain once more, stoking the flames of their long-standing grudge. Both players were ejected from the game, handed 2-game suspensions, later reduced to 1, and fined by the NFL. This dramatic and public rivalry remains one of the most talked about feuds in recent NFL memory, highlighting how personal grudges can carry over from season to season. Number 2. Myles Garrett versus Mason Rudolph. The Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph incident during a 2019 game between the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers left fans, analysts, and players in shock. The confrontation began with a standard tackle near the end of the game, but things took a violent turn when Rudolph, feeling the tackle was excessive, grabbed at Garrett's helmet. In a shocking response, Garrett ripped off Rudolph's helmet and struck him on the head with it, an act that many saw as one of the most dangerous and unsportsmanlike moments in NFL history. The altercation quickly escalated as other players joined the fray, with Steelers center Maurkice Pouncey throwing punches and kicking Garrett in defense of his quarterback. The NFL suspended Garrett indefinitely, which was later reduced to the remainder of the season, and fined both teams over $500,000 in total. This helmet-swinging incident has since been a talking point about player safety and sportsmanship, and it remains one of the most controversial moments in NFL history. Number 1. Andrew Johnson versus Cortland Finnegan. Cortland Finnegan, known for his aggressive playing style, clashed with Texans receiver Andrew Johnson during a 2010 game. Finnegan's taunts and physical tactics throughout the game finally got under Johnson's skin in the fourth quarter, leading Johnson to rip off Finnegan's helmet and throw a series of punches. Both players ended up without helmets as they exchanged blows, with teammates rushing to separate them. The NFL fined both players $25,000 but opted against suspensions. Johnson's outburst against Finnegan became legendary as fans praised his controlled fury and the satisfying takedown of a notorious instigator. Thanks for watching our countdown of the top 10 craziest NFL fights. Football is intense, and sometimes that passion just spills over. But that's what makes the game so exciting. Which fight shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. See you in the next one.